Hi, welcome to my tube. I'm Margie, I'm Heyoka, I'm Empath, and I like to do these little talks on the way I feel about things. I was listening to a couple of little tidbits of guidance advice that Deborah Silverman has for the aspects that are gonna have hard. I think if you haven't dealt with your ego, everyone's just gonna have hard aspects. That's the way I look at it. Let's just get down to the lowest common denominator as how I see things. Is people got away from their spirit. I had a cool thought. I get like inklings, I get ideas about things from being outside, hanging out, but whatever. I'm always doing something to figure something out, and then I come in and I'm like, Mom, this is neat. See, the energy is already shifting. Venus went into the morning star. Love is back. That's what I feel like. And, well, I feel like, it's not what I'm reflecting. So, I was outside in the backyard, and I was thinking about just how a couple months ago, the old neighbors that lived right out my window, they lived there. First of all, they kicked the people out that had a life there because they wanted, the mom owned it, and so they wanted daughter and son-in-law to live there for a while. He was going to fix it up, and then they were going to sell it. So she did that, and then they had like an unauthorized daycare. So they had it wasn't like one kid, they had 2 or 3 kids themselves, but then they watched other people's children. I'm sure there was no license involved. I'm sure it was all under the table. Because people like me are the only dumbasses that follow the rules. So we go in the office and say, hey, can we do this? So the egos can say, no, you're not allowed. So these, and then the kids would just, and it's just what they said. They were all ego. I mean, they would say things like, don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? And just like these little phrases and stuff I still hear in society with people that are supposed to be the adults that are, supposed to be looking out for its constituents, and the gig is up that they don't care. They don't know what they're doing. These people, their education level, political science is a reindeer game. It's made up by people who are control freaks and like to set their narrative for them and their comforts, and it doesn't really matter about anyone else because they ain't spiritual beings, because they don't know they got a spirit. So I was outside and I hear the little kid, and I was like, this, because they sold the house and then the new people moved in, and it's just, I don't know what the situation is. I know that they only have, the neighbors across the street said it was just a young couple and one kid. And they were in the backyard, and I hear the little kid like, uh-oh, uh-oh. And then it was, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. And then it was variations, uh-oh, up high and down low. And it was it's finding its voice. It's a little spirit. And it's like, I'm a person. I can do this. And I can do this, and I can do that. And see, all little spirits, all little babies, they're supposed to come in, and then they're supposed either endorsed in their spirit, and it's supported, or it's denied, or not verified. Denied, not verified. So they start living from ego. No, you can't play too much. You have work to do. You have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to go to church and give part of your money to them. You have rules, regulations, ethics, morals imposed. Oftentimes with people that they're they don't even know about astrology, so, they don't know that your planets and their planets aren't in alignment, but you can be. Everybody can be in alignment. That's what astrology's for. We all got this stuff in us. It's like, what are you going to do with it? And that's what was cool about Deborah Silverman's little blip, is like, okay, this is the shadow side and this is the light side. What are you going to choose? Are you going to live from your heart or your ego? So it was really cool to freaking be able to sit in that vibration of the innocence of that child finding its voice, because it had nothing to do with uh-oh. It was the sound. It was playing with uh-oh, like, saying it from its stomach, uh-oh, uh-oh, it was playing. It was creating its own persona. So that was sweet, That was a little cute little tidbit. Then I was thinking, I get a lot of influence from other people. Well, we all do. Ain't nobody get no ideas all by themselves 100%. They just don't. I just wee baby. So, people are either learning from their lessons right now, or they're gonna, what does it say? You're gonna learn from your lessons right now, or you're gonna be buried by them. And I'm doing everything I can just to stay from love. Just to stay from a place and a source of love. Because I got Aries. I mean, and then it's like, I got a uh-oh, because all the signs that she said that, that she was putting out, the ones that I saw, are all the aspects that I have. Challenging aspects. They're all ones I got. So, I spend a lot of time, with my inner child and and stuff like that, healing all of my hurts and woes, and yeah, they come up sometimes because it's like it sucks. I can also keep in mind that on a cellular level, as human beings, we aren't even the same physical being that we were 7 years prior. On a cellular level, we don't have any of the same cells that we have when we were a little kid. So there's your permission to not hold on to those vibrational frequencies. Now, when you think about it, and then you like drink, and then like sit in the same low vibes. Oh, I feel bad because of this. I feel bad because nobody did help me. I feel bad because all those bad. No, you're not seeing the lesson. This has happened. This is why it happened, and this is what I learned from it. And then, so next time I meet somebody with, characteristics resembling somebody that screwed me over, I'm just not going to see them. Just ignore them. But can you ignore somebody that you're not in your same vibrational frequency with? We get examples all the time in relationships. How many people are with partners that just don't hear them? That just don't hear you? That's because one of you is probably coming from an ego based, one of you is probably coming from a heart space based, but people are learning that they can come into a balance, that everybody has balance, and when a balanced person meets another balanced person, it is so much easier than when a balanced person meets an unbalanced person, or two unbalanced people meet two unbalanced people. And because of all of this, people in I just was doing my job squad, people are living in habits. They aren't even living lives, they're living in habits. And we're all patterns, we're all patterns, and people are supposed to evolve and change. But I had the programming. I don't know what anybody else had, but I had the programming that you had to do every single thing that you said you do, and all integrity, and it like was beat into me and stuff. And then it caused creative dissonance for me, because I'm looking around going, all these people are telling me to do all this stuff, but none of these fools are doing this shit themselves, but they sure are paying themselves a whole lot. I see all this rumbling about a second check for people that need it. I could use it. I could use one every month, I could. My brother's high up in California government. He's one of those lawmakers that are freaking making the rules to just from ego to stifle people's spirit. And then people are going to feel threatened. So when people feel threatened, they're going to react, and people are going to find that they got a lot more clapback than they ever knew that they had. And some of the clapback is going to be violent. And so you're going to see housewives and freaking, all these, 15-year-old kids are like shooting PR people in the driveway and just all this stuff, because people don't have the spirit to ease them, practice discernment, look at another person and say, hey, we might not agree. There's a book, Gold Dog Go, that I liked when I was a little kid. Do you like my hat? No, I do not like your hat. Okay, have a good day. I believe books like that are supposed to teach you. And and discernment also is like, what makes you feel right about it? You know, we all have our Akashic record Mac legend as far as I'm concerned, you know, in signs and symbols and in phrases and things like that. And, you know, there is like all I see all these videos. Oh, the FBI list says if you use this symbol, you're pet, you do things to kids and you're, you know, and all that stuff. It's also the symbol of air. It's also the air symbol. Same thing. So, you know, people really need to figure out that there's just antagonists and that they don't care that anyone wins. They just like causing cognitive dissonance and creating havoc, because in chaos, you know, people just, oh, you know, but people that don't have spirits, they're psychopaths. They're psychopaths and sociopaths. And it doesn't, and it's all economic backgrounds. It's all, whether you have a college education, whether you don't have a college education, where your parents were married and loved you, or your parents were divorced. Sociopath is a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes or behavior and lack of conscience. Lack of conscience. Lack of conscience. Psychopathy is traditionally a personality disorder characterized by persistent antisocial behavior, impaired empathy, or lack thereof, void of spirit, and impaired apathy and remorse, and bold, disinhibited, and egotistical traits. It's sometimes considered synonymous with psychopathy. Ask yourself, do the administrators of all governments share these same traits? I'll just wait. Do the administrators of all governments share these same traits? I know my brother does. We haven't had water in 3 years. He's a lawyer. He works for, I don't even know, I don't care to know the office that he works in, but I guess if you Google it, it tells you where he works. And you can, and because they had a law of transparency 3-4 years ago, it hasn't been transparent since then, that you could see how much he makes. So what are the, and then he set himself up so he has 2 careers, because he's gone back from the state, and then you can take a leave of absence from military, but your time in grade still serves. So he's like not been in the reserves for 30 years, you know, doing what everyone else does, but he's benefited from the, you know, sometime commander status that he's given himself, because he's a lieutenant colonel, because their rank is just like, oh, if you're good and we like you, we'll just, you know, pat your little ass up the ladder, you know. It's all a club. It's all a bros club. And if you do what they want, and he was a fraternity guy, so he hangs out, and he was a Kappa Sig. So look at Kappa Sig and all the people that Kappa Sig hate. They're all it's all a freaking club, and they all started by playing chess, and they're continuing to do it with our life force energy. So don't buy into it. Just like, okay, we'll do what you say. We'll stay home. That's cool. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be. I don't know what I'm gonna be in 3 months when I gotta move in October. But I also knew that it was my heart, my spirit is also called to move in October. Someone else says I have to do it, so all of a sudden what? It's like I have to, you know, it's like there's fear imposed. No, I was going to do it anyway. So people are living in habits, and now they're waking up fighting mad because the habits they're living, they don't even like living. All the stuff they're told, you know, my brother is the one, go to college, you know, because you know, do this, do that. My cat died because the freaking Orkin man poisoned him, because I always asked for him to use the hand pump, but the one time I wasn't there, the freaking lazy kid freaking used aerosol. My cat got poisoned, and it later killed him. You know, I mean, it's just like, people don't care. It's all about money. Money's all that matters, and when the world ain't going to change unless people start coming into their spirit. It's not. People are waking up fighting mad to hang on to the good old days. Look at what people do. They're setting themselves up to live in a vibrational frequency of like living the glory days of how they felt in a time that was like 20 years ago. And then they go around telling everybody else that they're stuck in the past. when we have the same, I mean, there's an idea called rotation of service. It keeps things from getting stagnant. It's like every 2 years, but people have set themselves up that the rules that are supposed to be for everybody, they don't apply to them. Because egos don't have rules. Egos do whatever they want. Egos do kids. Egos eat people. Egos want power. Egos want money. Egos want property. I was looking at this kid, this 4-year-old kid that is won some sort of seat in. He's from Asheville. Don't care enough about his name because all I see is ego. He's just another little puppet on the string, Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. I mean, he's just, oh, look, oh, yeah, He's a real estate agent. He's just like the rest of them. There's no spirit in that. And the world needs the spirit. And I am the spirit, and I'm trying to be the big spirit, and I'm trying to find my tribe and, make connections and network and do all the thing that everybody does, and I do it, but they're just like, huh, look at what she's trying to do. Huh, what's that? Trying to make connections and, hey, I'm like you. You're like, maybe we could come up, we could create some wonderful ideas together, and people are just like, well, no, there's no profit in that. Where's the profit in that? And I'm like, oh, you're not, you just act like you in spirit. Oh, you just acting like it. All the world's a stage. So we have the world where people live from their heart, and then the world where people live from their ego. Lego my ego. You know why memes and stuff like that are important? You know why? Because AI, it can't track line of thinking. It can't go, when I'm like in front of people and I start getting in my flow and I'm all bouncy, I'm like Robin Williams, man. I channel that energy because I like in Aladdin, when he was Aladdin, because I draw it all. I draw all my data, and I grew up programmed because my heart space is drawn to stuff like Mom, Pa Kettle and My Little Margie and I Married Joan and all the way up to the corny, cheesy, corny stuff. There's a lot of stuff I couldn't watch that I wasn't in line with. I don't like stuff that scares you. And I think that people that like this stuff that scares them, I think that they're trying to, find their spirit, but they don't have it yet. Because, when you had a traumatic life, and you know that a lot of that stuff is real, then you don't need to see it on the big screen. See, I think every paradigm has its good and bad points, and I think that a lot of ways Hollywood was trying to get people to see that these things are really happening, and people just don't have the eyes, choose to have the eyes to see. And now it's like, it's happening to people they know, and now all of a sudden, there's clout and merit to it. And I'm like, hey, I've been one of these people my whole life, and ain't nobody verified my life. Because everything that has happened to me, people are like, no, that doesn't happen. Well, it happened to me. No, that doesn't. Things like that don't happen because they're so freaking void of spirit that they don't know what empathy is, and they can't imagine. That's why I know the freaking chump DT is all ego. He's all ego, man. He could step into spirit. I doubt that's gonna happen. He's still a gazillionaire. Money's profits over money. He's all ego, so he's just going to keep doing things to feed his ego, and other people are going to keep doing things to feed their ego, and then people are there's the cognitive dissonance is going to reach a point where people are freaking going to snap and go crazy, and it's going to be anarchy in the streets for a while, more than there was, because, the numbers don't match, and, they're going to say the numbers are growing, but we're not going to see evidence in our own physical world. I still don't know anyone that's gotten sick from the Rona, me personally. So when I don't know anyone personally, it's always somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, And I see too many other epidemics that are far more important, like obesity, alcoholism, and all this other stuff that people have choices in. So all of a sudden you throw something into the mix that you got a little powerlessness in, and then you got to freaking freak out and then take everybody else's control away of their lives because you don't feel like you got none of your own. Oh! Yeah. You can also tell how people manifest their the balance of their mind, body, and spirit with their physical being. Like my brother, yeah, he's got the, I want to be a lawyer. I'm a control freak. I do it all I want. But his teeth he's had to have braces 2 times. He's like had this because stress, mental stress, it wreaks havoc on your physical. And so it's like his teeth are all, and I got a nice smile. I haven't been to the dentist in 3 years, 4 years. Yeah, I don't have any plaque. No, but they tell you what you have to do. Okay. So they can buy themselves Teslas and, several vacation homes. But nobody's vacationing now. So people are finding out, do I really need all that stuff? Oh, shoot. Oh, man, what kind of person am I really? Oh, crap, I really don't help anyone at all. Oh, my God, I'm a liar, too. Oh, snap. Accountability. Smack up the side of the head. 2020, the year of clear vision. People are seeing clarity of themselves, and then that's going to reflect out into the world. And once they start, dude, it ain't all freaking doom and gloom. Once people, it's okay. It'll be fine as soon as people start taking accountability for themselves and saying, you know what? I did do this. I did this then, and I'm a scumbag, and if I have to go to jail or do whatever I have to do to make that right, I am willing to do that. Those people that aren't even under that just want to get their conscience clean. Maybe it served me justice in my early 20s. I saw a movie called Defending Your Life with Al Brooks. I don't like Meryl Streep. Oh, and another thing, if you say words like words, you know what people are talking about. Don't frickin' correct people. Because it messes with because I do it because I mess with the algorithms. Because if I can't get them to be in my favor, I'm going to freaking mess with them. So I'm just going to say words, and they can't track the words I say, because I'm just not going to say the words that they track. Yeah, a lot of third eye blind, for sure. It's funny, I used my other account, because I have my personal Tube account. I don't post, I just use it, and it was like when I first started IT freaking 2007. I've had anyway, think about what my tube would be if I would have started a channel then. I had too much learning to do. Anyway, so I from there I was looking for Heyoka. I was looking up Heyoka. I'm not anywhere. When you put in YouTube search Heyoka. All this other bullshit is, but I'm not there. So, but if you put Marge a Heyoka, then some of my videos show up. And I even have Heyoka in the titles of several of my titles, or in the words of as a word in several of my titles, to get the algorithms to pick it up. And it's still and so you got to go Marge at Heyoka to find me, or Third Eye Activated. I'm not easy to find, though. That's the thing. I am veiled in security of the cosmos, in my frequency. Bad. I'm not saying nothing bad. Ain't nothing bad stuff happens to me every day. Am I gonna come from it from a place of discernment and looking at it as like, oh my God, this is happening to me. Fuck my life. God, all that stuff, or just, what are you gonna learn and go on with it? Hello from far Texas. I did not have a good time in Texas. Keep dropping pearls. Hi, Jody. Was your cut? See, now that's the thing. That's the part about. I don't trust the narrative. When someone goes to the doctor, and I know enough, about hospitals and things like that. Because they're all lazy. They pay themselves 6 figures. Doctors I see, they like to freaking do things like throw at the gym that they work out in, because they're all given gyms. They like to spit their snot rockets against the walls and stuff like that, because somebody else will clean it up. They all get the prime parking and everything like that, because they do one thing good. But what are the circumstances of that? Was your cousin healthy? Were they thin? Fit? Do they eat proper? Do they go out and exercise every day? That's unfortunately is the part, and I I was always a big girl, so obesity don't necessarily equate being unhealthy. There is a difference. There is a difference. But when people are already putting physical stress on their systems, and then you put something in it, something is... I mean, pneumonia kills people all the time. Pneumonia ain't that big of a situation. But when people already have underlying situations that they make choices of every day by choosing to just... I ate my feelings for years. It was just easier than telling people what I thought, because everyone's going to leave me and nobody's going to be my friend. And then I realized ain't nobody's my friend anyway, because I was imbalanced. So I just kept looking for other people that had imbalances in themselves. And then and then I'd hear stuff like that. Oh, okay, well maybe your cousin's not any different. And all these, and like these healthy young kids, how much Adderall and Ritalin are they popping? How much drugs are they, these healthy people that are... I don't believe any numbers of any... I used to see and I know, and the reason why I don't believe any numbers about what egos say is because I've seen them. Like EPR bullets is something that they do. It's like a annual review of what you've done, and you have to word them a certain way, and it's annoying, it's stupid. And I was in maintenance, and for people that have a maintenance mind having to do vocabulary and stupid stuff like that, it's just time consuming. But that's what egos do. They want to make you dance like a little puppet. So EPR bullets are just freaking dumb. It's just a dance puppet dance. It's another reindeer game. So they what did you say? He was a farmer? Seeing how many pesticides. If he was a farmer and he had to use all the pesticides that he had to use because somebody told him to, because somebody ruled and regulated. My father figure, the man who I think of as a father, he is a farmer. And he lives close to Offutt Air Force Base. He's like 5 generations on that farm. It's cool. Anyway, and I worry about all the but the man is also balanced in his spirit. He's balanced in his spirit. He's been, friends of Bill W. for a long time. We have the same mutual friends with Bill W. We've had, so those same principles, even if you don't do the same disciplines, those with the group, you still are in a vibrational frequency. See? Now these EPR bullets, I remember getting my hands on my EPR and reading these and going, I didn't even do that. I didn't do that. Who did that? And the number, oh yeah, we did this and this and this and this and this and this, and it's just and everybody, all of them do it. So, populations of the world, I don't believe there's 7. Why? Because who said? What? They physically count? They have an account of everybody's, keep track of everybody where they are. I mean, I know we got numbers for us here. We're on the number system here with the soul, but is that everywhere? I mean, do they track? I mean, really? How do they know? They don't know. There's no possible way. And when you look at pictures from the 1950s and stuff like that, and it's just we're all the people. And then so in the 1950s to now, technology just, we went from maybe 3-4 billion people on the whole planet, and then to 7. It don't add up. There's scientists that get paid a lot to set narratives out. There's no proof behind what they say. There's no proof. What I challenge people to do is, instead of proving that I'm right, why doesn't anybody and everybody that has ever challenged me prove that I'm wrong? You can't do it. You can't. Because I'm backed by truth. And all the egos, they ain't backed by truth, man. You ain't. And all the truths are coming out, man. All of them. And I've been putting my little tidbits out here. Okay, this is how I see things. I don't like to tie an outcome to any situation because I sell myself short, or I'll make things bad, worse. Yeah, so I don't... I'm sorry for the loss of your cousin. In my reality, somebody said he died of it. That I don't believe he died of that. I believe that his spirit was just done. His time was up, you know. And people can impose a narrative all they want. And I haven't had a mask yet, but you know what? I'm tired of. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to have the attitude. I'm never going to wear a mask. I'm not going to do that. You know, maybe I'll just be a clown about it. Maybe I'll bring in my gas mask and just wear that. Is this good enough for ya? Is this okay? Do you feel safe now? No, all that does is make people feel more scared, you know. But they don't realize I'm doing that because their masks make me scared. People don't realize. We had to play exercise. We had to play. None of the generals and none of the officers and none of the colonels and none of the people that made us play, they never played along. But they made us wear gas masks, and I was stationed at Offutt, and it is very humid. And on days that were 95 degrees, and we had to go out and do our regular job in Mop 4 gear, which is basically a heavy plastic suit, all right over your uniform. In high humidity, I'm drinking a pint of water an hour just to maintain my hydration. You know, you take your gas mask off and you go like this and water pours out. You know, and they made us do that every month, 11 days every month for over 13, 14 months because they were getting us ready for, I'd say, 911. That's what I'd say. Or something like that. But, I mean, that's what they do. It's like dance, puppet, dance, puppet, dance. And then it's like you don't dance yourself, you know? And there's no spirit in that. So, I think that's about all I got for now. I think my ego's getting a little carried away. Oh. Monday. Oh, I was gonna. Oh, maybe I'll say that. So, doctors, egos without spirit, like to say, Benny. Benno yonder such a handsome man. Okay. We got ear problems over here. We've been having ear flares up over here. That's rough on me to clean his ear, and then I gotta stay calm to clean it. It's just, anyway, so, people are, with all this fear that psychopaths are doing, just know on a basic level that they're inducing psychosis. You know, you instill so much fear into the vibrational frequency of a human being that it disassociates their freaking cognitive ability. It basically freaking fragments your mind, and then, well, try and think in, like, you know, putting your head in a tin can, and then having somebody beating on it while you have a migraine, and then them asking you algebra questions, and your life depends on it. Okay. So don't get too tripped up when people like come at you with all kinds of stupid stuff. Just ask questions. Why? How come? Why do I gotta, you know, just come from a kid heart space. You know, don't poke the bear. People like to poke the egos, poke egos. You know, so people are really, they're inducing freaking, all this in fear is inducing OCD like crazy. I think people might consider me to be OCD. Because, like, of my tapping and stuff. But my tapping, every tap I do is for a purpose. Like, for example, in my Instagram, if I'm sitting here watching myself as a spectator and I'm checking my mail, I have 3 accounts. They don't cache well. And then for 2 of the accounts, there's a primary and a general. So if I'm going to, you know, if I'm going to check between my primary and general of my 2 accounts, you know, that's a lot of tapping because we're in Mercury Retrograde. People are not getting the messages. I sent the chick that did this. I was going to get another one. I think our time is done. I'm sure our time is done. So I sent her an email and I was like, "Hey, I'm hankering." This is before I found out I had to move. Now it's like no money for nothing but moving, you know. And I said, and then the next day she put on, or a couple days later, within a day or 2 window, she put up a notice that says, "Hey, we're opening back up." They're doing like 1 person a day. I mean, it's just dumb. It's just if people can come up with stuff to ruin people's lives, they will, and we're going to see it. So I'm not going to participate. So, you know, there's always workarounds, you know. And so I sent... I didn't hear back from her, and so I told her to give my slot. I just said, give my slot to somebody else, because I'm moving anyway. And she's like, oh, I didn't get an email from you. I'm like, welcome to Mercury Retrograde. And she's like, oh, do you think I'm not getting emails from other people? I'm like, no, I don't think you're... Yeah, I think you're missing emails, man. Think about this. Think about this. I worked at the service desk at Creighton University, a Jesuit. You want ego and property and money and prestige? Go talk to the Jesuits, because Newsom, the governor of California, is a Jesuit, and he wears $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 suits in my brother's office. Works with his office, and they are all egos, and they don't care about you. Freaking disgusting. And then they need Viagra, and that's sad. So they're inducing all this OCD stuff, you know, because people, I never, and so now I just don't participate, so I don't play with it as much. And so when I worked at Creighton, people would come up the window, you know, because it was a free service. You paid that much tuition. We're your own geek squad. And I called other college campuses around, because I've always been around colleges, you know, so I always get the vibe of who goes where, and everybody's the same. We're all connected. So, first thing I'd ask them is, how long has it been on? When's the last time you restarted your machine? And I'm not even kidding when I say 8 out of 10 people would pause and hesitate. And they're doing that memory recall, and they're like, oh my goodness, I don't even know. Well, folks, technology, it ain't alive. It's got energy. It's got a spirit even. It's got characters, personality. But it ain't like you and me, and it needs resets too, and they have, you know, restart your stupid machines, you frickin' idiots. Oh, it takes too long to reload. Oh, it's because you put all the crap on it. Oh, I don't want to do all of the stuff that I need to do to take care of them things to make them work and working or in order. Well, I guess you are satisfied with whatever they put on your certificate, Rona or otherwise, because you're just doing what you're told. I was just doing my job, squad. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.